Is the gold rally over, or is this just a brief pullback before we see a rip back above 4K and take out some of those imbalances? That's what we're talking about in today's video, and also the latest on the DXY. So by the time you finish watching, you will have a complete trade plan for both gold and also the US dollar. Hey everyone, my name is Justin Bennett, founder of Daily Price Action, Forex trader for the last 17 years. And if you want my help with your trading, including real-time market updates, seeing my trades live, VIP-only videos, the full course, and much more, be sure to check out the link in the description of this video for 85% off, lifetime access to VIP. Everything is hosted in Discord, so it's all real time. All right, guys, looking at gold here, let's start on the 4-hour time frame, because what I want to show here is what's happened to the price structure over the last few weeks. Obviously, this was really a liquidation cascade, you can see back here, and this was just a case of buyers getting themselves in trouble here, and we knew it was coming, right? We knew that after this kind of rally from gold, it was going to eventually pull back and liquidate longs, and that's certainly what we got back here on this candle. And you can see that what was left in its wake were all of these single prints up here, starting at 41.65 all the way up to 43.14. So that kind of sets the stage now for where we are currently. Okay, so what's happened here over the past week or so, or a couple of weeks, is that we've seen gold now break below this area around 40.30, 40.60. So you can see the back here, we had resistance right here. We saw the market find some support through this area, some support again. However, it failed through here and broke back below here and failed to get back above recently. So this is what we're dealing with now. This is our range currently, and gold right now is pretty much in the middle of that range. It's also below that November open here. So you can see that recently, if we go to the daily time frame, obviously the month of November just opened. So we have gold trading below this. You can see here on this candle, this is the monthly open. We saw it trade below it on that first full day. And so far, it's below that level here on Wednesday. Now, this doesn't have to mean, though, that the market is bearish, because what you'll see a lot of times with these monthly opens is the market can often trade for a couple of days, on one side of it, and then eventually, it does break back above here, or vice versa. If you see it trade back above here for the first couple of days, it can trade below and then head lower. So in this case, what I'm trying to say here is that just because we're below this here for the first couple of days of the month, it doesn't mean that this is necessarily bearish. However, what it does mean when we look at the price structure, right? The November open aside, what you can see here on the 4-hour time frame is, again, we are holding below this area. So what it's going to take from bulls to target areas like this up here is going to be a close back above that November open on the high time frames, meaning daily time frame, really ideally, and also this 40.30, 40.60 area. So this is going to be the area right now that bulls have to reclaim in order for gold to extend higher up here toward those imbalances. And look, I do think that we are likely to see gold head back here toward this area, right? It's likely to come back here toward this area because this was such an aggressive move lower that we have these imbalances up here. Furthermore, it's no secret that gold has been trending higher. I mean, this rally has been incredibly aggressive. And I just don't think that when you get this kind of momentum, typically when you get this kind of momentum, it doesn't just fall like this, right? It doesn't just happen like that. Typically, you get the market coming down here, liquidating longs, and really trapping shorts as well through this area. And then eventually you get it breaking back above here to target those imbalances. That's typically what you get. Now, with that said, though, the question is, do we get gold coming down here to sweep some of these recent lows? Because what you'll notice here is that we do have these equal lows around 39.30, and we've also got these higher lows that have developed here over the past few sessions. Okay, so we've got these lows down here, higher lows, equal lows through here. So that's really going to be the key. Do we see the market come down here and sweep these lows and just consolidate a little bit more here before we get that push higher? Now, one reason I keep talking about the push higher, though, is if you look here at the weekly time frame, and I'm going to go to a new chart just because otherwise it gets a little bit messy with all of those imbalances on there. But you can see here on the weekly time frame, right? You can see that this is the channel that we've talked about here recently. And I pointed this out actually months ago when the market was trading below it. So if you'll remember during this congestion, when we were talking about the breakout from this, this was my first target up here at the top of this channel, right around 3,800. Now, obviously we went quite a bit, above that, all the way up here toward about 4,400. But the point here is that now gold is actually retesting this area as new support. So you can see, just to kind of clarify too, you can see that we have these lows down here and we've got this high and we have these closing prices on the weekly. Now you can see where we did get wicks above this. However, when you're drawing key levels like this, especially on the high time frames, the wicks don't really matter. What matters is where the market closed. And you can see that this is certainly valid, right? The market never closed above it back here. It did close above it back here. So what this is going to come down to is, again, right now, the market is finding support here. You can see on the weekly time frame, we have support last week, support this week. Okay, so this obviously could be a failed breakout. If we get gold trading a weekly time frame back below here, then that would be bearish for gold. So really what you can say here is that the must hold area for gold is going to come in right around 39.40 or so on a weekly closing basis. That is the key. As long as we're above that, we're bullish. Below it would be bearish. Now, we have to go with what's on the chart, though, not what we want to happen or what we think might happen. We have to go with what's on the chart, and right now the market is holding above this, so that is what we're going to go with. However, if you want that added confidence in a long, like I said, what you need to see here in order to come up here and target these areas from this drop, if you want to target these areas back here, right, like sweeping this high and targeting these imbalances, what we need is the market back above that November open, also that 40.30 to 40.60 area. As long as we are below areas like this, we have that potential for a sweep of some of these lows. Okay, and another reason too, we have that potential for a sweep of some of the lows, or at least some more congestion here from gold, is when you look at the DXY. So we've talked about this one recently as well. And I'm going to go here to the monthly time frame in case you're new here and you haven't seen those recent videos, but this is that 2011 channel that we've discussed now for months. And you can see where the market is coming off of this level. All right, so back here in 2011, we had the lows. Back here in the early 2020s, we had the lows. And now we have the lows here for the DXY. And this is what it's coming off of right now. So this right now, as of right now, is bullish for the DXY. However, at the same time, like I've said in the last couple of videos this week, what you have to be careful of with the US dollar is this area around 100.8. Because you can see here on the monthly time frame, we've got all these lows back here. So this is going to be a significant level. Furthermore, this candle back here in May, look at the upper wick. The upper wick here, the 50% comes in right at 100.8. And not to mention the fact that we also have a couple of imbalances from back here around 100.6 that could serve as magnets for this market. So those could be targets for gold, or I'm sorry, for the US dollar here on the way up. Now, we also have an equidistant channel. And you can see how all of this kind of comes together where we have that 100.8 monthly level. We also have those imbalances up here at 100.6. We've also got the top of this equidistant channel, okay? So what this means is that right now, the US dollar is finding resistance here at that poor high. We did sweep that, right? So that played out nicely. We have 100.25 resistance. We have it holding above that November open. You can see where this is serving as support so far this week. Okay, so if the US dollar is going to come up here and tag this area, which I think really, ideally, if you're looking for a US dollar reversal, this is where it's likely to occur. Okay, so that helps us in a couple of ways. First of all, we know that this is the area to watch for potential US dollar weakness over the coming days. However, it also tells us that if the US dollar is going to, and obviously it's a big if, we don't know this yet, but if the US dollar is going to break above this high from back here, okay, so break this and target this area, what is that going to do for gold? Okay, is that going to trigger some sell side sweeps? Okay, so when we look back here at this intraday chart, is that going to trigger some moves down here to either tag these lows or maybe even take them out, right? Are we going to get some more congestion from gold here if the US dollar is going to head up there and test 100.8? That is the big question right now. And we have to at least respect that as long as the market is sideways here. Okay, but I think the bottom line here is if you are looking for buys, and I think that you should be, as long as we are above that weekly chart, okay, that weekly level here, that channel going back to 2024. As long as we're above this area around 39.40 on the weekly time frame, I think that that is, in my opinion, not financial advice, but that is the best course of action here. I think if you're looking for that, you're looking for sweeps of these lows, or alternatively, you're looking for a reclaim of that November open and also this area around 40.30, 40.60. If we get that, okay, looking at this here, if we get that, then we're looking at a move, in my opinion, back here to take out some of these imbalances. Okay, so just to summarize, reclaim this area up here, guys, get above these highs, then we're looking at a push up here toward some of these key levels. Obviously, if we lose that area around 39.40 on the weekly time frame, that could be bearish for gold. All right, that's it for today's video. If it helped, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Also, join us in VIP. Check out that link in the description of this video for 85% off lifetime access. Or if you're on the website, click on that join VIP link. Trade well out there, and I will talk to you again tomorrow.